This is the automotive directions for chapters 8 through 12 trade-specific assignment. Each of you were asked at the beginning of the class which trade you were receiving your certificate or your degree in. This assignment is designed specifically for that trade. You will be required to complete 15 questions on this assignment. I would encourage you to begin at least 1 month before the class is to end. This is a test grade and it cannot be excused. You must turn in this assignment to pass this class. Tests are worth 50% of your grade in this class. You can find the guided notes handout under the content section in Blackboard. There is a video with each section. You should only do the section that is in your trade. This video gives guided examples of each of the problems for you. Under each guided problem, there is a place for you to work the actual problem in your test. You should watch the video with the guided examples and take notes before you attempt the test. If you should happen to get the exact same problem with the same numbers as the guided example, pick a similar problem or a different problem. You will have unlimited times to get the problems correct. You must turn in the notes from your test or 20% will be deducted from the test grade. You can turn in the notes that I have provided you, or you may make your own notes with the problems numbered. You may turn these in by scanning them to my email or dropping them by my office, or you could bring them to class. In order for your grade to not receive the deduction, you must turn them in within 24 hours of completing the test. This section is multiple choice, and so I'm not going to get specific with this, the degrees and the protractor, but we're going to kind of draw an estimate of 27 degrees here. But if it says that my angle is 27 degrees, then I know that 27 degrees is between 0 and 45. So the center of my angle would be about right here. So if we were to draw that, we would put our line at 0, and 27 degrees would be a little more than halfway to 45. So it should be something about like this. This would be LMN. Okay. Angle 3 says that it is 100 degrees. Well, if I started at 0 and I go to my angle and I go up to 90, I know I need to go a little bit past 90 to get to 100. So my angle is going to look angle 3 is going to look something with a little bit more than 90 degrees. That's going to be angle 3. 153, well, that would be past 135, so I would go 0, 135, and I want to go a little bit past that to 153. It'd be a very wide angle. Okay, this right here would be angle Y, 153 degrees. 138 is going to be barely past 135, so pretty similar to that one, just a little bit smaller. But this would be P, Q, R. Okay, 67 degrees. Well, it's going to be 67 degrees is going to be more than 45, but less than 90. So right in here, we want to draw our angle. This would be angle T. Angle F is 47 degrees, so barely over 45 degrees. So when we come up here, we would go 0 to 45 and just a tad bit over. So and they're wanting us to call this angle F. So if we actually got out the protractor and measured, then we would get them exact. I know that this quiz is just going to ask you to kind of get an estimate, a rough estimate of that. So you should be able to follow those directions and be great. A roll of gasket material is 16 inches wide. What length is needed to obtain 19 square feet of the material? Okay, so what we're trying to find out is we've got this roll of material, kind of like a soup can. If you took out the label of a soup can, you would get a rectangle, right? So what we know about this is that we're looking for the length, because it says what length is needed to obtain a 19 square feet of the material. And we know that that it's 16 inches wide, so this is 16 inches. And we know to find area of a rectangle, you would do length times width. Okay, and so length times width, it gives you your area. Now, the deal is on this one that this is in square feet, 19 square feet, and this is in inches. So to work this problem, I'm probably going to need to either change them all to inches or all to feet. So 19 square feet, how many inches would that be? Okay, I know that in 1 foot squared, that would be 144 inches squared. So I could do this conversion and get inches squared really quick. And 19 times 144 is 2,736 inches squared. Okay, so that's going to be my area, 2,736 inches squared. I know that I don't know the length, but I do know that the width is 16. So this would be 16 times the length is equal to this. I should be able to use and this is 16 inches, so we're dividing by inches here. So I should be able to use algebra and just divide there and get the length is going to be 2,736 divided by 16, 171 inches. Okay, so my answer, 171 inches. Is going to be the length that's going to make that area 19 square feet. Number 3 says, find the missing quantities for the following circle, and it says to use the pi key for pi. So if the radius of our circle is 21.7, to find the diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So we would do the diameter equals 2 times 21.7. Okay, that gets me 43.4 centimeters. To find the circumference, you do 2 times pi times r. So my circumference is going to be 2 times pi times 21.7. Or you could take your diameter and do circumference is also equal to pi times your diameter. I'm just going to stay with this one. So they said to actually use the pi key. So 2 times pi times 21.7 is getting me 136.345. And it depends on what they're going to ask you to round to, so just make sure you pay attention to that. If I round this to the first decimal place, that would be 136.3 centimeters. So there's my circumference, here's my diameter. Okay. Number 4 says, what length on the circumference would a 36-degree angle span on a 12-inch flywheel be? Well, here's what I know, that the distance, the total distance all the way around this flywheel is 12 inches. So all the way around the flywheel is 12 inches. And it says, what length of the circumference would be a 36-degree angle? So if I just took out a hunk and said, this is 36 degrees right here, okay, well, what I do know is that in a complete circle, there's 360 degrees. So if I take that and I divide it by 36, I would figure out, well, what part of the circle am I looking at? 360 divided by 36 is going to get me 10. Okay, well, if the entire wheel is 12 inches and this is taken up, there's 10 spots of this, then I'm going to need to find the distance from here to here, which is what they're asking me. I'm going to need to take my 12 and divide it by 10, which is going to be 1.2. So this little section would be 1.2. So 1.2, and we're talking about inches.